Hello, welcome to Big Story Gazette. There's a couple things I want to just mention. It's going to be kind of short one, but I want to get a couple things out of the way, and then there was a real quick thing I want to say about what happened. I guess was it yesterday? Yeah, I wanted to get this before I forgot. It happened yesterday. Anyway, okay, where do I start? Okay, bear with me. I'm waiting for it to come. There's one of the many technologies that I utilize, given to me by Hilarious, observing the elements in the forces at play. Uh, I'll share that with you sometime, but right now it's not the time. But it's one of the tools that I utilize, and that's just how I operate. I look at everything structurally, and in retrospect, I was looking at structurally. I was looking at uh, the two videos, basically the two that I a couple ago that were titled "Reporting for Duty." And I could see the structure in the race mind consciousness, which we're all subject to, and more so operate within that you unconsciously operate within before you become aware of that you're operating within the structure. And what I wanted to say is, I am in no way, shape, or form asking anybody to join anything. I don't join anything. I am not, I don't, one of the things Hilarious told me when I had the opportunity to meet him in person, one of the things he told Georgianne and I is, you guys don't do well in groups. And I never have, and we as a couple, as a team, never did. We did our thing. Uh, so I'm not asking you guys to I'm not trying to start something and you're going to be now a member because that's not the case. I'm not a member of anything and I'm not asking you to be a member of anything. But if you're here listening to this, then there's something here for you. And the next thing I want to say, because everything is all connected, all of this is connected. UP22, the universe rearranges itself to accommodate your picture of reality. Whatever you focus on and make a big deal out of, the co-creative power of your consciousness, the universe observes that, and through the co-creative power of your consciousness, the universe will rearrange itself to give you exactly that. So it's my prerogative to say that from my truth, you guys are here very purposefully. Listen to this video or series of videos very purposely. You're supposed to be here. I've said that before. You wouldn't be you wouldn't be here if you weren't supposed to be. So that being said, there was a time I remember when I was on the road by myself, and the 5 years from 2012 to 2017, and until I retired. I was driving down the road one day, and I was in my when I'm by myself driving down the road, not talking on the radio, just having a conversation, just being me. I'm multidimensionally functioning to where I'm conscious of me driving the truck and everything going around me in the 3D, but I'm also consciously aware of other things that I'm participating on in the higher dimensions. And one of the things that I was aware of at this particular time that I'm sharing was that I was like standing in a lecture hall, and I was standing at the podium, and there's all these, like amphitheater type lecture hall, all these chairs, and there's all these beings there. And I didn't know any of the beings individually, but I knew who they were in my knowing, and they were beings all over the planet that were attending this quote lecture that I was giving. And I was just sharing big story perspectives with them. And and I also knew in my knowing as I'm driving down the road that on the higher dimensions, we're having this interaction that a lot of them were attending the interaction, the lecture, while their bodies were sleeping somewhere else geographically on the planet, which is like a lot of times it's what we do, all of us do, when when our bodies are lying down sleeping wherever we're geographically located on the planet. We're off doing something else. Well, I knew the good portion of the beings in that lecture hall were, quote, sleeping somewhere on the planet. But they were attending this multidimensionally on the higher dimensions. They were attending this one particular lecture. And so, I was just, that's what I was doing. And I knew that I do that a lot. When I'm driving down the road, I could feel that I'm basically talking to a large group of people. When these things are just, like I'm driving down the road and I'm not speaking for like hours on end because I didn't run with other truck drivers, like in Hollywood shows you or what you think you hear, or you might actually know long haul truck drivers and they've shared with you that, oh, we a bunch of us hooked up and we're running a little convoy down there and we're yada yada chit chatting on the radio. Well, you know me, I told you that's Sesame Street as far as I'm concerned. There was no intelligent life on the radio, so I didn't participate. So, but I still drove down the road, delivered my freight, So I'd drive down the road and not utter a word for 4 or 5 hours at a time. But I'm having this constant interaction going on inside here. So I knew that that's one of the many things that I was doing. And so then one day I'm off the road, I'm at home, and I'm cleaning my bathroom. Because that's what you do. You take care of your space. Not only do you clean your bedroom, but being the only male in the household, I had my own bathroom. At the time, we had a house where, hell, right now I have a bathroom by myself, and I keep it clean because I'm a clean person. My parents didn't raise a slob, so I was uh, I was at this one particular point in cleaning the bathroom, and I'm down on my hands and knees, and I'm scrubbing the shower floor, and then boom, this this veil was removed, and it was like, no shit. I was just flashed on all those instances where I'm driving down the road and I'm lecturing and standing at the podium and I'm sharing and teaching, and then it hit me, oh, you guys are teaching me while I'm teaching them. I was, talking to Raluad and Zeal, who I was aware of now. This was after I'd met them, but my higher selves, and I just clear as day. Wow, you guys are teaching me while I'm teaching them. Okay, so now what happened a couple days ago? Today's Monday. It happened yesterday. Yesterday afternoon, I'm laying down taking a nap because as a retired person, I can lay down and take a nap whenever I feel like it. I love it. So I'm like in the middle of the day taking a nap because I woke up at 5 o'clock that morning. Had been up because Spirit woke me up. A big self woke me up, and you know I got up and I meditated while the house was nice and quiet, and had been up ever since. So I didn't lay back down till like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So I'm taking this nap. Well, in this nap, I'm talking to some people, and I'm sharing slash teaching, and it was two of you guys. Whoever you are that's listening to this video series, specifically listen to this video right now, two of you, I just know in my knowing, and actually I know what you look like, at least how you presented yourself to me on the higher dimensions, on wherever we were, because my body was laying down, quote, sleeping, but I was having an interaction with two of the people that I just know in my knowing are part of this interaction that we have going on through this YouTube medium. And one was a female and one was a male. And the male was telling me, well, I just can't do that. He, whatever it was we were talking about, he was going, well, I just can't do that. So I gave him a suggestion. I said, how about this? Take a bunch of post-it notes, get your little pad of post-it notes, and that's that you say you can't do, put it all over the house. Put it on your bathroom mirror. Put it on your computer screen. Put it, in the kitchen. Wherever you are, a lot of the times, just put that same thing, write the same thing on that post-it note and put them all over your house. And then he goes, why? And I go, because you're telling me that you can't do it. But by putting these post-it notes all over the place, you're giving yourself permission to do it. You're basically reprogramming your structures where you say, oh, I just can't do that. Well, write on the post-it note that you can do that and put them all over the place. And every time you look at it, it's you giving you permission to do what you say you can't do. And he got it. So I'm sharing that with you guys. Try it out. I've never done it, but that's the data I had wherever we were on the other dimensions to share with him. And I knew exactly what I was talking about, and he got it. Because now, when I look back at it, it makes a ton of sense. When you tell yourself you can't do something, but then you've put all over the place that, call it an affirmation, call it whatever you want, that you say you can't do, write that you can do it, that you are doing it, and put them all over the place. And every time you look at it and read it, you're giving yourself permission to do exactly what it is you claim you aren't capable of doing. So try it out if it's yours to do. And then the female being, the being that was presented to me as a female, what were we talking about? I almost wrote this down yesterday when I woke up, but I forgot to. But I go, okay, you'll remember that. You'll remember that. Anyway, I forget what she and I were talking about, but it was something similar to that. She was having an issue. Oh, yeah. She was talking about her shadow self, and she was going, well, my shadow self, because we were talking about quote doing the quote shadow work, the quote inner work that you hear in the New Age community, the spiritual community that we all hear on all these different channels and videos, telling you, well, you got to do the spiritual work, you got to do the inner work. Well, she was saying the shadow work. She was saying, well, I can't do that. My shadow self. It's not a good thing. There's not a good person. And it's like, well, that's still a part of you, is what my response to her was. Well, it's still a part of you, and I was talking about loving your wholeness. Just accept all of you, because all of you is there simultaneously. And like we think when we talk about multidimensionality, when we quote think about multidimensionality, we're thinking with our logical third dimensional mental body, which is logical and linear, which wants to predict and control. And if anything falls outside of those parameters, then it discards it. Well, you can't love the ugliness. That's what we're told. Oh, that's bad. You just don't touch that. Don't touch that. But it's still you. It's still part of your infinite self, your infinite multidimensional self. There's no, like the example I was giving her was like, look at your physical body. Your left foot doesn't hate your right elbow. It doesn't look down on your right elbow. Or your right ear doesn't look down on your left cheek, or the third knuckle of your left middle finger. There is no part of you, just using the physical body as a model, there's no part of you that looks down and rejects any other part of you, because you're all one. There is no separation. So you can love your shadow self. That in and of itself, everybody, is doing the shadow work, accepting that you've been told, or that you in your mental body has deemed unworthy. Remember the lie of unworthy? The second foundational lie? We are our own worst enemies through our culturalization, through our experiences, through what we think is real. But you, through UP22, can change anything and everything. Whatever you choose to focus on, whatever you choose to call real, the universe will rearrange itself to give you more of that. So if you start loving your wholeness, if you start truly moment to moment accepting who you are, all the good, the bad, and the ugly, just allow yourself. Larry's used to have a phrase: be kind to yourself. Loving your wholeness. Be kind to yourself. Be gentle to yourself. Quit beating up on yourself. Quit being your own worst enemy. There is no part of you that is unworthy. That's a lie. It's a lie. So quit believing in the lie. Quit operating structurally in that lie. Internally, quit operating within the lie of unworthy. No part of you is unworthy. All of you are worthy. And when you accept that, and it's your choice to accept it, just like what I was, talking about the previous videos of uh, reporting for duty. I don't care if you don't respond to that. I don't care. I mean, I do care, but it's not the be all end all. It's your choice to the degree that you choose to engage. It's your choice. But what do you got to lose? The only, it's like, I'm here. I live in San Bernardino, California. I don't know where, like, I don't know where you are on the planet. I doubt that I live on a fixed income, you know? I just don't have the resources to go traipsing around the globe to find you. So whoever you are, wherever you are, I'm not going to jump out of your computer screen and accost you or assault you or pressure you, force you to do anything. You have control. All you have to do is turn this video off. If you don't want to interact with me anymore, just hit the pause button. Unsubscribe from the channel. If this is the last, if I ended this channel tomorrow, I will still be me. I will still continue to do what I do. Follow spirit without hesitation. Engage in the big story. I will still be me. That's like Yasko. Oh, one more thing I want to say, and then I'm going to end this. I've had a phrase. I've had a couple phrases, basically tenets that I live by. And I remember sharing this with Georgianne when we first met we met in 1988. And one of the things I told her, this is how it goes. What you think of me is exactly that. What you think of me, not who I am. Okay? So I don't care what you think of me. Because what you think of me is exactly that and all it is. What you think of me, not me. And then there was another part of that. If you have a problem with me, it's exactly that. Your problem with me. I don't have a problem with me. I love me. I've been fine with me for years. I have been called arrogant, and I call it assurance. I've been called conceited. I call it confidence. That's my prerogative. And this since I was a teenager. This is the way I felt. So, and then I'll close with this. About, I guess, 10 years ago. Yeah, about 10 years ago, me and Yasko were standing in the garage of the house we were living in at the time, and we were having a conversation about something by my workbench in the garage, where my toolbox and my workbench, and I looked at her. I go, I don't care what people think of me. I said, and that includes you. And she goes, Well, you better care. You better give a no. I said directly. I said I don't give a shit what people think of me, and I don't get, and that includes you. And she looked at me. She goes, "Well, you better give a shit why what I think of you." And I looked at her and I go, "Why?" 10 years later to this day, and I've mentioned it to her a couple times, she has yet to give me a good answer. Matter of fact, she's yet to even answer the question. Not even give me a good answer. It stumps her. She said something talking out her ass, and I called it on her, and she doesn't have an answer. Why should I give a shit what she thinks about me? I'm me. You're you. And it stops right there. I love you. I bless you. I honor you. But it stops there. Everything that you do is yours to do. It's yours to do. Your decision. Like Hugh says, it's yours to believe. It's yours to know the truth. That's one of many reasons why I got Q. From the very beginning, I got Q. And one day I might, go deeper into that. Oh, but here's one thing. One of the many things that Georgianne pieces of data that she got when we were waking up, spiritually waking up. She got this transmission download, whatever you want to call it, one day. And it was a question. Does the number 17 mean anything to you? That was the question. And it was asked to both of us as a spiritual team. Does the number 17 mean anything to you? And we looked at it and it's like, okay, well, coincidentally, and she still lives in the same apartment building, the same apartment right to this day is right across the street from the precinct, from the police station of the 17th precinct of Chicago. So does the number 17 mean anything to you? Yeah, we live right across the street from the cop shop of the 17th precinct. And then this question was asked before. Oh no, it was asked for. Does the number 17 mean anything to you? Well, it just coincidentally happened to be that when we had that confirmed, double blind confirmed experience of multi-dimensional experience of being on the ships, that we were co-commander of a fleet of 17 spaceships. Does the number 17 mean anything to you? So we were both like, yeah, I guess number 17 does mean something to us. And then about 4 or 5 months ago, been a Q follower, since Q first started posting, which was about 2 years ago last week in 2017, October 28th, 2017 was the first time that Q posted. Well, what's the 17th letter of the alphabet? Q. And I had been a Q follower, from day one, because I got it. Q's really deep, everybody. One day, well, I might, like I said, I might go a little bit deeper into it, but Q's for real. Okay, you call bullshit all you want. I don't care what your political affiliations or leanings are, left, right, center, libertarian, yada yada yada. I don't care. But for me, because I see things from the big story. Q is part of the Great Awakening, is what they call it. Q is part of disclosure. Q is part of this planetary awakening, this planetary quickening that's happening in frequency and vibration. All of this, including Trump, because Trump is Q plus. If you're a Q follower, as far as I'm concerned, and it's to where my satisfaction, Trump is Q plus, and he has posted as Q plus. There's been a zillion Q proofs, and just at Q is back as of 2 days ago. Hadn't posted for the last 3 months, and Q's back. So we're back to rolling. Disclosure's picking up, folks. Disclosure. If you don't know what I'm talking about, do a little research. Look into the I think it's over 100, well, what is it? Multiple thousands of sealed indictments. That shit's real. Just do a little research if you want to call bullshit on me. Before you call bullshit, don't just call bullshit just because, oh, that's just how I feel. Do some research, and if you can find something to negate what I'm saying, then call bullshit, okay? And if it's yours to do, write it in the comment. Write it in the comment of this one. But if you want to call bullshit on me, call bullshit. I'm open to it. Or you can call bullshit to yourself and unsubscribe to the channel. I don't care. Okay, I don't mean to be rude, but I don't care. This is not about making friends and being popular. I'm just it's mine to do is to share the truth. I've had this data in my head for well over 25 years, you know, and now it's time for me to start sharing it. My experiences. And it's all connected. Everything's connected. Chemtrails connected. I got a new subscriber just recently. I'm supposed to cut this off, but you know me, I love to ramble. I got a new subscriber. I'm 99.9% sure that I just interacted with him this past weekend, and he subscribed, and his YouTube handle is Tinfoil Hatter. Well, I shared with him we met through a comment section of a channel that I follow. Matter of fact, that channel is Blossom Goodchild, and she channels the Federation of Light. And I highly recommend it. I've been following the Federation of Light for well over 20 years through different channels. They're the real deal. Call it what you want. You don't even have to believe in channeling. I don't care. Call it what you want. But anyway, I told Tinfoil Hatter, dude, I've been a Tinfoil Hatter for years, for a long, long time. Because he was talking about, I think he's just now starting to wake up, and he likes the idea of wearing a tinfoil hat. I don't know how long he's been awake, but man, I've been wearing a tinfoil hat for damn near 40 years. You ought to see my tinfoil hat. You can't see it in this dimension, but it's just several octaves above this dimension outside of the visible spectrum. But my tinfoil hat is gorgeous. It's it's gold plated, palladium plated, tin plated. It's kind of conical. It has at the top of it, it has a radar dish so that I can fully get all the data that's beamed to me. It's got runes, what you could call runes or light language, all embossed on it. It's got uh, 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 precious jewels studded all through it. My tinfoil hat looks good, and I proudly wear it. It is what it is. All right, people, I love you. Blessings on your journey, and I will talk to you soon. Bye bye.